All right, let's get right into it. Today, we are going on a bit of a wild ride, connecting ancient mystics and modern physics, all through one single, incredibly elegant geometric idea. It's going to be a mind bender. Okay, so let's start with this big question, one that poets and thinkers have wrestled with for centuries. Is there some kind of mirror world hidden just out of sight? A reality that's a perfect inverse of our own? People like the poet William Blake, and much later thinkers like Terence McKenna, they weren't just being poetic when they talked about this stuff. They described a very real mirror world, an inverted reality you could tap into through dreams, or deep meditation, or certain altered states. For them, this wasn't just a fantasy. They believed that this hidden, unconscious realm was the absolute key to understanding consciousness itself. And that really sets up the puzzle we're tackling here. Is this mirror world just a beautiful metaphor, a powerful piece of poetry, or could these mystics have actually been describing something literal, something you could map out with honest-to-goodness mathematics? So, before we can find the key, we've got to understand the lock, right? Let's get a really clear picture of these two worlds that we're trying to connect. So on one hand, you've got our normal waking reality. You know the one. Our consciousness feels localized, embodied, right here. Our brains are organized in a pretty clear hierarchy, and our focus is almost entirely on perceiving the external world. But the mirror world, it's the complete opposite. It's a non-local, super expansive consciousness. The brain's strict hierarchy just dissolves, and everything becomes this one integrated network. And the experience, it's all about internal reality, not external. Okay, so how in the world do you get from one state to the other? Well, it turns out, really fascinating, kind of strange idea from pure math gives us the perfect tool. It's called inversion, and it is a precise geometric way to flip reality completely inside out. The specific tool is called circle inversion. And yeah, it is literally a set of rules for turning a geometric space inside out. I want you to imagine taking the entire universe and somehow pulling it through a single tiny circular keyhole. That's the kind of mind-bending transformation we are talking about here. So, how does it actually work? Well, first you pick a circle. That's your mirror. Now, to flip any point in space, you just draw a line from the center of that circle right through your point. The new, inverted point is on that same line, but its position gets flipped according to a very specific rule. Points that were super close to the center, boom, they're mapped incredibly far away. And points that were way out at the edge of everything, they get pulled in really close. Now here's the kicker. This isn't just some random, chaotic scrambling. Yeah, it flips inside to outside, it can even turn circles into straight lines, but, and this is the most important part, it's what's called a conformal map. That means it perfectly preserves angles. Why does that matter? Because preserving angles means preserving information. The fundamental relationships, the core structure of whatever you're flipping, it survives the transformation. Okay, so a cool geometry trick that can turn a world inside out while keeping its information intact. What on earth does this have to do with William Blake or with our own brains? Well, let's unlock that first door. And this is where it just gets incredible. Some researchers are now saying that circle inversion isn't just a clever analogy. They think it's a direct, non-metaphorical mathematical model for what's physically happening in our brains during these profound shifts in consciousness. The idea is that consciousness itself might be a kind of geometric matrix. Just look at this. It's a perfect illustration of the flip. Normally, our brain is hierarchical and uses backward-traveling brainwaves to sort of predict and make sense of the external world. But what happens in a DMT-induced state? That hierarchy melts away. The brain becomes globally connected. And get this, the brainwaves literally reverse direction. They become forward-traveling waves focused on an internal world. It's a complete, measurable inversion of the information flow. Scientists actually have a name for this. Antenna retuning. It's a neurological inside-out flip. It's like your brain is an antenna that's usually tuned to the external world channel, and then suddenly it retunes itself to a totally different frequency, the internal generative reality channel. And the geometry of that retuning process, it is a perfect match for circle inversion. Okay, we've connected the geometry to the mind. That's already a huge leap. But now we're gonna zoom out. I mean, way out, to the scale of the entire cosmos itself. Let's unlock that second door. So here's where we get to the cosmic connection. There's a pretty radical theory of cosmology out there, sometimes called pisumat, that suggests that the universe, at its most fundamental level, is a single substance, a kind of cosmic quantum superfluid. In this model, everything we see, matter, energy, space, time, it's all just different kinds of vibrations or vortices in this one single cosmic fluid. And here is where the pattern just snaps perfectly into place. The exact same geometric flip, the circle inversion, that models the brain's shift in consciousness also describes the fundamental dynamics of this cosmic superfluid. In this view, the inward collapse of matter and the outward expansion of the cosmic void are just two sides of the very same coin. It's one single inside-out geometric transformation. The pattern in our own minds seems to be a perfect mirror of the pattern of the cosmos. Okay, let's put all the pieces together. We have this one geometric key, and it seems to fit every single lock we've tried, from the visions of mystics to the neurons in our brain to the fabric of the cosmos. So we started with this poetic mystery, right? The mirror world. We found a precise mathematical key for it in circle inversion. And with that key, we've modeled a literal, measurable flip in the brain. And we've seen how that very same flip might be fundamental to the cosmos itself. And remember, because information is preserved, the self, your sense of you, can actually make it through this radical shift. It suggests the mirror world isn't a place you go to, it's a geometric perspective you can take. And that really is the biggest takeaway here. It seems our consciousness isn't just some random thing happening in the universe, it's structured like the universe. It's a dynamic, geometric matrix that's built on the same principles, and it's capable of flipping its own perspective from inside to out. Which leaves us with one last really profound question to think about. If a temporary geometric flip in our brain gives us a glimpse of this infinite mirror world, what would a permanent transformation mean? What happens when those doors of perception aren't just cleansed for a moment, but are thrown wide open for good? It's a question that really gets at the ultimate nature of our minds, and maybe, just maybe, what lies beyond.